Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. We're talking about immigration today, permission or no permission, and Shannon Salmon-Haas, immigration attorney, and Juan Molina, immigration paralegal, have been talking about some of the programs that immigrants will apply for so that they can be here legally. And we've been talking about some of the other issues that sort of surround that. We got a text message that was super exciting. If you want to text Todd at 210-538-4770, 210-538-4770. We can take your question, or you can call live right now at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867 on September 21st, 2024, and we can take a question. We did talk about U visa, right? Victims of a crime from U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents may obtain with proof, right? So we don't need to talk about that program. What's next on the list, Juan? Or did we want to go back to the question that we received by text?
Yeah, I felt bad because I don't think I answered it.
Okay, well, let me restate the question for those jumping on the radio right now. The question was, great show. Thank you for the shout out. For Shannon, though the focus of this conversation is specifically about individuals migrating to the United States, what can our immigration system do a better job of to protect the rights and lives of some of our most discriminated against, the Native Americans and indigenous peoples who are technically in the country first? So that's not an immigration question, is it?
No, I guess it's not, but I mean, they clarified that, we understand this isn't an immigration question, but there were Native peoples here, before the first European immigrant ever set foot on the land here. The only experience I have with that, I mean, I was young in New Mexico as well, so I have, I've been on reservations and I've grown up around that community. But the only legal experience I have with that is the ICWA, where in the child termination cases, there's a special protection that if you're in a Native American tribe, a federally recognized tribe, then they have to do a really heightened verification process if, God forbid, your rights to your child were terminated, because there was that big problem where Native American children were getting adopted out. We kind of had we had racism built into the system, where it was just presumed that white was better. So let's save all these Native American children, put them into this white context. You've heard about that.
Yeah, I saw that on Yellowstone
and things like that have happened throughout our history. So now we have the laws that make it much, much, much more difficult. So the only thing I know to serve that community and better protect that community is laws.
Well,
laws
I love that you had that experience, that you could answer that question. Cool, thank you. So let's move on to some more programs, talk about other programs where you definitely want to have permission. Juan, there's some lesser known programs maybe that we can talk about.
Of course. So I do want to just state for the sake of saying non-traditional programs, what I mean by this is some of the less known programs, but as well as tying it to your first question, whether you're here with permission or not.
Well, can I stop you just for a second, because I'm super curious. I've known a few people that have married somebody from another country.
Okay.
Like they go there with that purpose. They want to go find a spouse somewhere else because they didn't find anybody that they liked here.
Right.
So it's kind of like the employment question. Well, aren't there plenty of men and women to choose from here that you could have married? Yes, but I don't like any of them. So is there a specific program for getting a mail order bride?
Yes. So I think that specifically starts with the fiancé visa.
Okay.
So you go to another country, you meet someone, and then you become engaged. So if you are able to provide proof to USCIS that you met this person, that you have a legit relationship, that you recently saw him. I think it's I could be wrong, don't take me for it, but it's within 2 years. You're able to petition them for a fiancé visa with the whole purpose of them coming to the U.S. and getting married here.
Shannon, have you ever worked one of those cases?
I have tons of opinions about that, and only some of those opinions are radio show appropriate.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I've done a lot of those, ton of those.
One show I did with attorney Lisa Vance, who's a family law attorney.
She's very respected, yeah.
She had issues with prenuptial agreements and mail order
Wow,
type,
what a great
marriages.
Yeah. Do you have that on can I find that on YouTube?
On audio, not YouTube.
Oh, I would
audio.
love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Have you, Juan, ever worked one of those cases?
I have, yeah. Yeah, no, not that old, actually. But yeah, I'm familiar with those types of cases.
Okay, so that's one of the lesser known ones that we were going to talk about anyway.
I won't talk about mine, but I have a friend that refused to do them because she was getting paid pretty good money, and she noticed it was always one kind of girl, and she said, "Oh no, like I can't be part of this," so she just refused to do those anymore.
On a moral.
Right, she had a
objection.
moral, ethical issue with it.
Interesting. Well, if you have that question about getting your mail order bride, you might want to talk to Shannon about what not to do. Anyway.
I'll explain all the lovely ladies here. Like, give it another shot, you know?
Right.
American women, we're nice.
Well, some are. So let's talk about a different program, Juan.
Of course. I think you mentioned the U visa. Another, I guess, similar visa would be the VAWA,
right?
Which is the Violence Against Women Act visa. And the funny thing, or the ironic thing, is that it not only applies to women but also to men.
Okay.
So in case that anyone suffered domestic violence, they can independently petition for a green card, of course, with whether you have proof or attempting to get proof that you suffer any type of abuse.
Okay.
And it's a good program. You've seen some good things.
I've seen, I guess, a couple of these cases. I know that, and this is probably for the benefit of the applicant, but every information, every submission is treated very, very sensitively by the by USCIS. You know, if for any reason the spouse that suffered the abuse, or not the spouse that didn't suffer that was the abuser, I guess, were to find out that the spouse was, applying for the green card, that could potentially put the applicant in trouble.
Yeah, I can
right?
back
and
you
risk.
up on that is for sure true. They're they're really careful with that.
Very, very sensitive. But you also have those types of cases where it's, probably an invented situation.
It could be a false claim.
Exactly. So I myself didn't see many of those cases. The ones that I did see had a police report, which is very good to have in those types of cases. Again, any type of proof or attempting to get proof on those.
But can we talk about why a program like that is so crucial because of the power dynamic? If we're using the term mail order bride, which there's a lot there, so I don't know if I agree with that term, but if you've got a situation where one party is a U.S. citizen and another party might feel like they're holding their green card in their hand, and maybe for their kids and whether they be deported away from their children, that it creates a power dynamic that VAWA...
I agree with you on that, as well as, you're coming to you have a dream of coming to this country and whatnot, but you are also, I don't want to say entitled, I think that's a strong word, but you also, I guess, expect that you're going to be in a safe environment, And so, I think I agree with you on that. I think it's, very, very typical for that person to have the upper hand or think that they have the upper hand and take advantage of it.
It just invites abuse.
And Shannon, I wasn't intentionally trying to be disrespectful there.
With who? Oh, no.
With the terminology, it's just that's the easiest way for me to describe like what was happening or the
I just
scenario.
meant it's a whole other subject. I mean,
Yeah.
I just would love to talk about just that.
Right.
I mean, that's how my grandma got here, so I don't have any problems with
there's lots of servicemen that
right.
served over in Germany that brought home.
Right, yeah. Happily married and,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our legacy segment, so I want to say something about...
Now, it's time for the Talk Law Radio Legacy Spotlight. What's your legacy? Sponsored by Marquardt Law Firm.
So Marquardt Law Firm sponsors the show, and attorneys at Marquardt Law Firm focus on business and estate law, including last wills, living trusts, and tax-protected inheritance plans. I wanted to talk about how, Juan, you're going to be helping us with immigration cases. And we're going to be collaborating with Shannon Salmon-Haas with working those cases as well. So what is it that brought your passion to do this?
I think I can give you the same answer from the last radio show we had together. It's something that unconsciously was embedded in my head that, I grew up in a border town. My parents are Mexican, so I moved over here when I was 18, and it's a I don't want to say weird relationship, but it's a rare relationship with being here and having a strong Mexican root. So for me to be able to help in any way that I can, immigration wise, and on the legal side, of course, to anyone that needs it, it's very satisfying to me. It's part of my background, I guess.
Awesome. I love it. Shannon, you want to give a shout out to your followers before we end the show?
My followers. You understand I have very few followers, right?
Well,
but I love how you brand me. Thank you.
They're going to be coming. Follow Shannon Roberta San Antonio.
I think
Instagram.
More people are on Facebook, I think.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.